believe there are any survivors from this accident.
A deadly mid-air disaster.
Crash, crash, crash. This is alert 3. Crash, crash, crash. This is alert 3.
A military helicopter colliding with a commercial jet, both then crashing into the frigid waters of Washington, D.C.'s Potomac River.
We are all heartbroken.
3 soldiers lost, and some of the country's most promising figure skaters were among the 64 victims on a flight from Wichita, Kansas.
We're family, and it's a community.
Now, growing questions about how it happened and why one air traffic controller was doing the work of 2 controllers.
And we're here to assure the American people that we are going to leave no stone unturned.
The somber task of recovering the remains of the crash victims and the evidence set to continue tomorrow. Thursday night, I'm Shari Williams. Rick has the evening off. The big story on Action News tonight is that deadly collision course over Washington, D.C. The horror lighting up the night sky over the Capitol. It's now a recovery effort. Nearly 40 bodies have been pulled from the water. Additional searches will be done tomorrow as crews also wait for heavy machinery to lift the plane and the helicopter. As for the investigation, the black box recorder from the plane has been recovered and is now at the NTSB lab. Tonight, we're beginning to learn more about the many victims, which we now know includes several people from our region. Among them, a figure skating coach and 2 children from Delaware. We have team coverage with our Action News reporters. Caroline Goggin will have much more on those victims. But let's begin with John Paul, who's live at the scene in Washington, D.C. John.
Yeah, Shari, good evening tonight. There are boats still in the Potomac River. They're guarding the wreckage. You might see some blue flashing lights. We've been watching them go up and down the river tonight. They're guarding the fuselage and the Black Hawk helicopter. Now, crews spent the day searching for bodies in the icy water, while the NTSB investigators tried to search for clues as to why this mid-air collision happened. Tonight, NTSB investigators are analyzing data from the black box that was on American Eagle Flight 5342. It was recovered by dive teams late Thursday afternoon. It may hold clues as to why the aircraft flying from Wichita, Kansas to Reagan National Airport with 64 on board collided mid-air with an Army Black Hawk helicopter that was on a training mission. Officials say 3 soldiers were on board and all 67 are presumed dead.
We will look at the aircraft, we will look at the helicopter, we will look at the environment in which they were operating in.
Video shows the Black Hawk slam into the jet around 8:45 Wednesday night as the plane was landing on runway 33 at Reagan National. Army officials say the experienced chopper pilot was on a nighttime qualification flight with an instructor and may have been using night vision goggles. Just one air traffic controller was in charge of both helicopters and planes last night, which routinely happens. Audio reveals the chopper pilot saw the aircraft approaching.
X25, CRG in flight. This club has a aircraft in flight for separation.
While NTSB investigators comb over the wreckage, we're starting to learn more about the victims killed here. Among them, 12-year-old Brielle Beyer and her mother, Justina Beyer. They were flying back to Virginia. Andy Beyer talked about the agony of waiting at the airport along with his 6-year-old son.
I missed them so much while they were gone, and so we were just talking about, getting together and what we were going to do, this weekend.
They were coming back from a figure skating camp in Wichita, Kansas. Tonight, the governor there calling for answers.
These families need answers to what happened here.
Everyone wants answers. The NTSB says a preliminary investigation, a preliminary report should be out within the next 30 days. Now, late this afternoon, dive teams suspended their search for those bodies. They had recovered about 40, but they need to remove the fuselage to recover the rest, is what we're told. Now, runway 33, that is the runway where this plane was coming in for a landing last night. That remains closed. We're expecting to see that closed for at least the next week. We're live tonight at Reagan National. John Paul, Channel 6 Action News. Shari.
Okay, John, thanks for your reporting. Let's turn now to Action News reporter Caroline Goggin. Caroline, you had a chance to speak with someone about the victims who skated in our area.
Yeah, Shari, we learned that one of the victims recently started skating just a few weeks ago here at the Philadelphia Skating Club in Ardmore. She was a young girl with so much life left to live, as were many of the skaters who were headed home last night when tragedy occurred. The figure skating community is coming together tonight as they mourn the 14 skaters, their coaches, and relatives killed in the midair collision in Washington, D.C. They were heading home from Wichita, Kansas, where the U.S. National Championships had been held.
Everyone's trying to rally around each other, especially for those that were really close to the ones that were lost.
Regina Barr is the director of skating at the Philadelphia Skating Club and Humane Society in Ardmore. She said one of their newest members, who joined the club just a few weeks ago, was among those killed. Action News has confirmed that skater was Lydia Livingston, who was on the plane with her sister and parents. Livingston had recently partnered with a local skater in our area.
He's been a longtime skater here, and we were very proud of the new ice dance team.
We have also learned a skating coach from the University of Delaware was on the plane. Alexander Kirsanov, who went by Sasha, had traveled to Kansas to attend a development camp with 2 youth ice skaters.
Angela Yang and Sean Kay.
Those skaters have been identified by Delaware Senator Chris Coons as Angela Yang and Sean Kay. U.S. Figure Skating shared this video of them a couple months ago. Senator Coons shared a statement tonight saying Sasha Kirsanov, Sean Kay, and Angela Yang went to Wichita to pursue their passion for figure skating. It is a tragedy that none of them returned home to our state. The director of skating here at this facility in Ardmore tells me that she will be offering whatever resources are needed for her skaters, letting them know that there is a community behind them as they begin the healing process. We're live tonight in Ardmore. I'm Caroline Goggin, Channel 6 Action News. Shari.
Yeah, so unsettling what happened, but nice to see the community just rallying. Caroline, thanks. As for the 3 soldiers aboard the Black Hawk involved, they are said to be very experienced and were familiar with the flight patterns above the Potomac River. But according to early flight data, the helicopter was flying at about 350 feet when it should have been flying under 200 feet. We know the instructor pilot had more than 1,000 flight hours, and the pilot being evaluated had more than 500 hours of flying. Both pilots had flown this specific route before at night.